Alright guys, Melissa here. I'm kind of like doing a half sit up. I don't know if this is going to work. I had this shelf on the side of me. I was going to pull it out and do a different background. But the thing is glued to the wall. So I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't realize that. So with that in mind, I'm going to talk about relationships for a minute, kind of on these boxes until I figure things out. Um, I have talked a lot about abortion and pregnancy centers, and you can find stuff behind the scenes for the pregnancy centers. Now I'm going to be talking about relationships. I'm going to take a new direction and talk about relationships. This is kind of uncomfortable. Relationships within the abortion. I think I want to go this way. I think I do. Within the abortion um within the abortion topics. Okay, so let's talk about relationships there. Okay, this is a little more comfortable. So, ouch. When a man wants you guys, ladies, not guys, when a man wants you, ladies, he will know you're the one. He will know it quickly, and he will know you're the one. Steven Speaks just spoke about this. I think I'll leave his video on my community page because he does a good job. I'll be working off of others I listen to who talk about relationships too. But let me say from the get-go, there is no way a girl who is not saved is going to know the same thing about relationships usually as a girl who's saved. All right, so a lot of this abortion is taking place with unbelievers. And of course, ouch, a lot of Christians have had abortions. So that is telling us, wait a minute here, what are we not getting right with girls? Okay? Before, when mom was home, right, mothers were home, a lot of girls had a lot of guidance, and a lot of guys had a lot of guidance, right? And we are losing that in the home. It all goes back to the family. It all does. And back in the day, if a girl couldn't talk to her mom, she had her aunt, ouch, she had her cousins, right? I had a cousin I would talk to a lot about things. So, she would try to figure it out that way. So there is no way we can take that standard of abortion and expect girls from, I don't know, a lot of homes now, but girls from unbelieving homes, we cannot put that standard on them because they just don't know. And I'm talking not even abortion here. I'm talking relationships. So there is always gaps in our lives, even with us as believers. We have gaps, right? So I'm going to be talking about, I'm sweating now, relationships, and how to deal with stuff. And again, I'm thinking back when I didn't know God. I didn't know him. And it's a whole different system. It's a whole different totally different system. You're out to find a guy. You're out to date. You're out to experiment and date different guys, and somehow some magic formula that you don't know what it is. You're trying to figure it out, right? So this is a lot with girls who don't have anybody. They don't have anyone helping them. And then later in my life, I didn't have it. My family just like left. Okay, my father disowned me. My mother said it's too hard to have a relationship, and relationship wasn't really developed when I was younger. It was just kind of go with the flow, this, in one day it might be this, one day it might be that, kind of walk on eggshells. There was no real relationship. So then as you become a Christian, you're like, okay, so what are my relationships supposed to look like? And you usually work hard at your marriage if you were not saved before. You're working hard at your relationships with your children. You're trying to figure out, okay, it's more wise for me usually to be home with my kids. You're trying to figure that out. You're trying to figure everything out, right? So there is no way in those intricacies, okay, that you would know, okay, this is what a relationship looks like. Or even when you're younger, there's no way you're going to know what a married woman knows, right? So, and you're not going to know what a mother knows. And this is why we need others in girls' lives to help them because we are expecting them to have it all down at a very young age. And I think back in the day, they probably did have it down at a young age. I think they did. But we are not teaching girls the whole picture. Even with pregnancy centers, we're not teaching the whole picture. It shouldn't be, okay, I'm pregnant now, what do I do? And we've gone so far down with girls that it's like, okay, now just abortion is my birth control. So we need to pull back. We need to be like, okay, how can we help women more? How can we help them not have abortions, unplanned pregnancies? How can we stop divorce for the most part? My husband chose this. I did not choose this. How can we have healthy marriages? How can we teach healthy relationships in that marriage? How can we do that? So I'm going to be talking about that. And I know for me, when I became a Christian, my life changed and I took a lot of responsibility for changing myself. It wasn't based on my husband. It was just, what can I do to become a better wife? So I worked very hard at it, extremely hard. And when I came out here to help my son, which I had every right to because I hadn't seen him in a few years, my husband agreed with me coming to Colorado. So now he calls me his estranged wife, although he agreed with me coming to Colorado. And he had no backup plan. So being on the same page is important, which I thought we were. And when you have a husband who, like Trump would say, I was watching him the other night, very, very disloyal man. Very, very disloyal. He was talking, Trump was saying he helped this guy. They're like, oh, thank you so much, Trump, for so much you've done for us. We owe you. We wouldn't even be, the governor in this state, I think it was Georgia, if it wasn't for you. He did everything that he could do to help these people, and they turned around and they spit in his face. Same thing with my husband. Everything I could do for this man, and he turned around and spit in my face. So even though I have a husband who left, you can still not regret doing the best that you could do. So even if you've done the best you can do, sometimes there's still stuff as older woman you're learning. You're like, oh geez, I didn't handle that right, or I didn't know how to deal with that. So we want to continue learning. So I'm going to be talking a lot about relationships here. So join me here, and this is the new direction, and hopefully I will get my bookshelf straightened out so the background looks better. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys.